It's time for another pregnancy update. Monday I will be 38 weeks pregnant. My due date is January 23rd. But if you've been around our channel long, you would know that I tend to go overdue. The last quite a few pregnancies have been typically around 41 weeks, so about a week overdue. But Benjamin was 42 weeks and a day overdue. So I could not have a baby for another month. The earliest that I've ever gone into labor was the day before my due date, and that baby was born that evening. But other than that, they've all been the due date or after. So don't get too excited. I suppose every pregnancy is different, and this baby could surprise us, but I'm not expecting a baby anytime soon. In fact, I just started getting out some little newborn clothes and blankets and a hat and those kind of things, newborn, diapers and things. I just started getting that stuff out, which just goes to show you how much I don't expect to have a baby anytime soon. Okay, so 38 weeks for me. I'm coming right up on 38 weeks, so that's what I'm going to talk about. I have been feeling pretty good. Of course, I'm getting tired more easily, and I'm trying to just do less, rest more. I have learned over the years that it is better for me to just give myself the grace that my body needs right now rather than to push myself when I'm not feeling like it. So I will just, sit and do nothing more often than I normally do. I'm naturally kind of a worker. I like to be productive all the time, but this is one time in my life that I allow myself the space to just rest. So I am actually breathing easier these days, and I had a midwife appointment this morning, and she said it feels like baby is really kind of more head down. Last week, I'm on weekly appointments right now. So last week, Elsie might like to see this book too. You want to go show her that one? Lydia's keeping me company here. Last week, baby was definitely turned more, and I was having just more kicks out to the side and, just more discomfort. Whereas now I feel a little bit more comfortable, which is probably a good sign that baby's settling more into the position that he or she should be in. I do not have any inclination of the gender of this baby. You can make your guess. I will show you what my belly looks like, because I know y'all like to make your guess based on that, but I really don't know. It will be a fun surprise to find out. And we're kind of throwing around names for boy or girl so that we have an idea in mind for that. My friend who had 9 girls had her baby. This is the friend that we went to see 2 months ago, maybe, I can't remember. But they had their baby right around Christmas, and she was absolutely shocked to deliver a baby boy with 9 big sisters, and so shocked that it took them days to decide on a name, because in her mind it was just like, well, of course it's going to be a girl. That's what I have, girls. So like I said, I'm having weekly midwife appointments now. So at the appointments, they will check blood pressure, they do a urine test, they check the fundal height, which they basically just measure like with a measuring tape. That kind of helps make sure that baby is growing on track. I've always been right on with those measurements. If I'm 37 weeks pregnant, I'm measuring 37 weeks pregnant. Today, I measured 38 and a half, so I suddenly measured a little more, but it seems likely that it's just kind of the position of the baby with that shifting down that, it pushes out a little more. And then when baby drops, often you'll get a lesser measurement because the baby is in a different position that isn't pushing out so far. So, that's typical. They also, what else do they do? Oh, they'll just kind of feel the position of the baby, those types of things. So it's just a general wellness check, and then she'll check in with me to see how I'm feeling, things like diet, exercise, whatever. So we just kind of touch base like that. I've been really spoiled the past couple weeks. My midwife has been coming to my house because she has another mom in the area, and so she's coming here. I have had to drive up to an hour to go to midwife appointments in the past, so this has been a real treat. Are you excited about a new baby coming? She says yes. All right, you work on your school book there. So I have been experiencing Braxton Hicks. Those are like the practice contractions for weeks now. That typically will start soon after my 3rd trimester. I've had enough babies to know, for my body to just know what's going on, and so I will start those pretty early. If you're new here, this is baby number 10 for me. I also, you know, have all those other pregnant lady complaints, like having to go to the bathroom all the time, but being thirsty, so having to drink a lot, and all of those kind of things. A little, I really can't complain about insomnia too much, although I do tend to sometimes wake up earlier than I want to and have trouble then falling back to sleep because, you know, like 4 a.m. I don't really want to be up there at that time. Good job. And so I will maybe have a little trouble falling back to sleep, but it hasn't been too bad, and so I can't complain about that. I have also had minimal issues with swelling in my varicose veins. That's something that generally troubles me a lot. But I think because of the cold weather, because of being due the end of January, they haven't bothered me too much like they did my last, well, this one I was due in August, and that was rough. That was, you know, really hot Missouri weather, and I had a lot of swelling, and my varicose veins bothered me more. Benjamin was my last baby. He was due in May. So again, it was kind of getting warmer, and I was on my feet a lot trying to get the garden going. So having some varicose vein issues, but not too bad this time. Just some normal swelling that can be expected, but nothing really to complain about. I did one day, I just started cleaning, you know, ridiculous things like a box that has been on a shelf all year. And I just felt this urge to clean it out and get organized and do some extra rearranging. I've gone in my closet of our new bedroom and emptied off one shelf so that I have a spot for the baby's clothes. I'm putting it all in baskets. So just kind of doing things like that here and there. I also, you guys, have not done my freezer cooking yet. We ended up with a busy Christmas. We went on vacation. Then I had to recover from being on vacation. And then we had some different parties and things that we've gone to. It's just been one thing after another. We're back to homeschooling. And I have not yet done my freezer meal prep, but I'm still planning to do it. In fact, this week I have it on my list to go to the grocery store with, I'm probably planning to meet Jason there on his lunch break so that he can do all the lifting for me and I'll just do the pointing. And of course I have lots of kids that are helpful with unloading and things, and I'm going to stock up. I have my meal plan of my freezer meals that I want to make, and I will film all of this so you guys can see it. But I have my meal plan. I'm mostly wanting to do like the slow cooker, like dump meals, you know, where you can put them all in a Ziploc bag and then just dump them into a slow cooker to make it easy. That's my main plan. And so I've got the list of ingredients that I need and everything together. I just need to actually go and do it. And again, I have some really helpful kids who enjoy doing things like that. So I think once we get the ingredients here and I lay out the plan and show them what to do, that I will have a lot of participation with actually putting the meals together. So I'm not concerned about the fact that I'm almost 38 weeks and haven't done it. Although it would be helpful to have some right now. I had a sweet friend who brought us dinner last night, just out of the blue, called and said, "Could I bring you guys some dinner?" So that was just a really nice surprise, you know, in those pre-baby days. Yep. Draw pictures there. When I have energy, which is typically the morning, so I get up in the morning and that's kind of like the time that I have the most energy, and so I'm trying to be smart with that energy and use it to do everything I can to prep for dinner that night, because that's when I have no energy. So if I can get that going, then it will help me later on. I'll feel like I can just kind of sit and put my feet up during the time when I'm tired. So that's how I've been doing things there. I am continuing to take my prenatal vitamins, which I actually have a video on, I'm sure. But you know, I can link in the description box because I always get questions on what vitamins I take. So I have put them together. You can do like these Amazon favorites pages where you show different products that you take. And so I made one for pregnancy. So I will go ahead and link that in the description box under this video so that for those of you who are curious, you can just go there and see what I'm doing for prenatal vitamins. I still take them mostly at night. It just works well for me. First thing in the morning, I'm not in the mood to swallow vitamins. So the only one that I take in the morning is my B complex because it gives me energy and I don't want to take that before bed. But everything else I take before bed. And then in addition, I'm drinking raspberry and nettle tea. So I will make several days worth of tea at a time. I will make it really strong. It's kind of nasty tasting, but I'll make it really strong several days at a time, and I will put it in a jar in the refrigerator. And that's how I make sure to keep drinking it, because I can just pour a little bit out, you know, during my busy day and sip on it. If I don't do that, I don't drink it. I just do not make it every single day. And so that has been an easy way for me to do that. I've been buying them in bulk bags. So I'm not too specific. I just kind of throw a handful of raspberry and a handful of nettle into a pot of water. Today in my appointment, my midwife brought me the birthing pool. I've had water births for the most part since, I'm trying to think, it was probably my 5th baby that I had water births, and they, you know, at first I was too stubborn to have them. I was like, it's a mess, we don't need to deal with that. Birth is fine, it's not that terrible, you know, it's just like, you get over it, right? And my midwife during that pregnancy was like, why don't you just try it? Why don't we just bring it over? You know, we clean it up and everything. You don't have to worry about that. So she talked me into it, and I've never looked back. Birth is so much less painful in water, because just like when you take a bath and you feel your muscles feel better when you're in water, it's the same idea. So I was not able to birth Benjamin in water because of some cervix issues that I was having, that my cervix wasn't wanting to dilate, and it was just, the water wasn't working. But the rest of my last babies I have birthed in water, and I still was able to labor in the water with him, so it was worth it to me. So she dropped off her birth pool so that I have that here whenever I want to inflate it. It comes with a pump, so you just inflate it and fill it up. So my plan for getting my cervix ready. I had a little bit of anxiety that I had to work through this pregnancy, thinking back about my last birth and how hard it was. And so I've kind of just mentally worked through that a lot. And then my midwives and I have come up with a plan of using evening primrose oil soft gels internally and as a suppository. And I am starting those on Monday. So I'm going to do those for starting with 38 weeks, or the last 2 weeks or however long. And the intention of those is to soften the cervix. So I'm hoping that that will be the thing that prevents me from going down that same route again with that, like I did with Benjamin, which, you know, I was still able to have a successful home birth. It was painful. It was really rough. And I can say out of all of my 9 births, that was the one that I was just like, whoa, I don't know if I can do this again. So my hope is that those, and also on top of the cervix issue, he was positioned what they call military style, I think, where he came, it's like the baby's supposed to be here coming out, and he was forehead first. And so that was a added complication. So I can't, you know, every baby is different. And so I'm continuing to remind myself about that just because that was an issue with him doesn't automatically mean that I'm going to have the same story this time around. So I've just been spending some time visualizing what I want this birth to be so that I'm not mentally stuck in what it was.
So what next?
You are cracking me up. So it has been such a sweet blessing to get quite a few little surprises, gifts from you guys. Viewers have sent us presents to our P.O. box for the baby, and that's just so much fun. I know I've shared some of them a few weeks back, and it's just really sweet and special that you guys want to celebrate with us. So thank you for that. For the most part, I think I'm ready. I mean, a baby doesn't require much, and maybe I'll do a video on what I like to have on hand for a baby. That might be a fun topic once I dig it all out of my storage. So one question that I have gotten is, what happens with having a home birth? What happens if your midwife is busy at another birth? Well, there is actually a pretty large team of, or network, I should say, of midwives around this area. So my midwives don't take on a lot of women. So that helps. Some midwives have very busy schedules, but mine do not. But you know, they have talked about that there have been times when they've had 2 births at the same time. I mean, it's a really large window, right? 2 weeks before a due date, 2 weeks after a due date. That's a lot of time for overlap. So what they will typically do is that one of them will go to one birth and one will go to another birth, and they will call in another midwife from the network to join them. Now, actually, when I had a Benjamin, there was, oh, now I'm doubting. I think it was Lydia. It's all running together. I'll have to look back at my birth story notes. But I had this same team of midwives for Lydia and for Benjamin, and there was a time when there was another mom who went into labor the same time as me. She was a first-time mom, and I think she was probably a little unsure. She never did actually give birth, but she felt like she was in labor and she wanted one of them there. So my other midwife came to attend that birth, and she said, okay, I can call somebody to come and join me. And I said, you know what, don't worry about it, because I had my sister coming, I had a friend coming, I had my family here, I had Jason here. I just didn't feel like it was necessary, and it wasn't. We just had a fine birth. But that is always a possibility, should I need it, that there are plenty of midwives on hand and on call to help. Also, if there would be an emergency, that's another question I get a lot. We are actually not too far from a really nice hospital we've gone to when Jason had his foot injury. And we are only, I'd say probably 5 minutes or less from the local ambulance facility. So should we need any of those things, they are close, even though we're out in the country. They have those, you know, extensions of the main hospitals available to us here. So again, I'm just not worried about any of those things. The wonderful thing about home births that I have found is that because it is such a low intervention birth, it often means a lower risk of complications, because you're just allowing the body to naturally do what it does without trying to push it any quicker, or you know, there's no medical interventions like epidurals and things that could lead to complications. And so in my experience, I have found that all of these things that I read about, they just haven't happened to me. And I'm really grateful for that. I am so thankful to be getting to bring another human into this world. It's just a pretty miraculous thing, and I'm looking forward to it. Bella has said she definitely wants to be at the birth. She had a bad dream that the baby was born and she slept through it, and we forgot to wake her up. So, you know, she's...
wake her up.
Lydia's comments here. You didn't want to wake her up? Well, that was nice. And then past that, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I will share it all with you for sure as it goes along. I've told you guys this before, but because of YouTube and just the amount of time that it takes to upload videos, I'm always a little delayed. Even with their shorts, their YouTube shorts, I don't know why. I have the hardest time, which you might be able to tell because I hardly have any of those shorts out there, but I just have the hardest time trying to utilize that. Whereas Instagram is very, very easy for me to use. Within seconds, I can upload a picture and update a video. It's really fast and easy. So make sure that you are following me on Instagram. It's just my name, Julie Kreke is my Instagram account. And that is where I can quickly share like current updates of life. So I will, you know, plan to keep YouTube posted on what happens, but if you want to know a little more, a little faster, Instagram is where to find me.
My turn to tuck.
No, it's my turn to show the baby belly. You have to stand down so they can see the baby. Do you think this is a girl or a boy? What do you think?
Go.
A girl, we'll see what everybody else thinks, okay? There's the baby. I went to a surprise birthday party for my cousin recently, and there was a photographer there, and I turned around and she said, "Oh, you're pregnant. I didn't know you were pregnant. I couldn't tell from when I walked up behind you." So that was my like feel-good compliment for the night. Okay, there you go. There's your baby update. Tell me what you think in the comments. Boy, girl, being born sooner or later, I don't know. Give me your thoughts. Let me know.